Speech.
Okay, here's the story. About 30-some years ago, I heard about a miniature power hammer at the Yellen shop. I said, oh, that's interesting. So when I met Harvey Yellen and started getting involved with the shop, I asked him about it. He said he had no idea, that he wasn't there. So about 12 years ago, being in the Steamboat Association, I met a guy who was the son of Kenneth Lynch. You know Kenneth Lynch, right?
Yep.
Big tool importer. Well, Tim Lynch, his son, was involved in the Steamboat Association, and we got talking and stuff, and I said, hold up! Got talking, and I told him, I said, I heard mention of this little power hammer at the Yellen shop and stuff. Do you know anything about it? And he said, yeah, I own it. I have it. Can I come see it? And he said, yes. So I went up to visit him up in Connecticut and walked into the house, and we had a nice discussion, looked at a bunch of crap and stuff, and he showed me this. And I went limp, almost.
So they get pills for that.
So I said,
took the words right out of my mouth. I couldn't get it out.
The blue.
So we went to Viagra Falls, and
and you were back in action.
hey, bingo. So anyway, I said, would you possibly be willing to part with us? And he said, no. I said, okay, no problem. I said, 3D printing's coming into its own, and would you mind if I borrowed it and did the scanning of it, see if I can reproduce a pattern for casting? He said, no problem. So I borrowed it for a couple of weeks, had it in my shop, drooled all over it, everything, and I took it back to him and I said,
Explains the
thanks
rust.
for the loan, I appreciate it, but the technology's not quite good enough. Now it is. So I said, I left him alone. I didn't tell anybody about it. I didn't say who had it, what it was, or anything like that. And this spring, I was invited to go up and see the Plumier Foundation, which is the Ornamental Turning Museum that was up in Port Chester, New York. So they were having a weekend seminar and a presentation at Yale University on a Friday, and I got invited to that. So one of the guys that was associated with them lived north of there, probably an hour and 15 minutes. And he said, come up and stay with us. We'll go down to the presentation at Yale, and then we'll go down to the museum on Saturday, and you can drive home from there. I said, great. So it turns out that the guy who owned this tool lived half an hour south of my buddy. And he said, called him up and I said, hey, I'm coming up your way. Do you mind if I stop in and show you some of the stuff I've been working on? He said, no, I'd like to see it. So I asked him, I said, do you still have the tool? And he said, yes. I said, would you be willing to part with it? He said, you can make me an offer. So I made him a considerable offer. And he said, nah, it's worth way more than that. It's the only one I've ever known of. And with his dad being in the tool business, it's most likely was. I said, okay, no problem. So the following week, I called him up Monday, and I said, I'll be there Thursday between 8 and 9 a.m. And I said, love to see you. He said, well, I thought about the tool, and this is what I want. And I said, okay. Really? He said, yes, I think it's a fair price. I'll take it. I don't want any checks. Okay, how about cash? Yeah. So I get, and I'm goosebumping. This thing is about to happen, and it's like foreplay, like I'm doing now.
That was the Viagra kicking in.
So anyway, they don't call me Peter for nothing. But anyway, so I'm goosebumping.
Put a warning on the video.
Showed him the stuff. And
Yeah, right.
I said, I really appreciate you letting me have this tool.
Let this guy go by. So we can hear you.
No. I handed him the envelopes, I put the stuff on the tailgate, he checked it out, said, look, looks good, stuff like that. I really appreciate you selling me this tool. I can't tell you how much it means to me. He says, I don't care what you do with it. You bought it, it's yours now. Okay. Walk away. Got in the car, and I'm goosebumping. I told my buddy Frank, I said, I may or may not have something to show you when I get there. I won't tell you what it was. But when I got to his place and saw his shop, which is mind-blowing, we had a great time looking this thing over. So long story short,
Too late.
We're all getting goosebumps now. We all have
story.
goosebumps.
Viagra kicked in a while ago. Let's go.
I got to share this with you because this is a very important piece of equipment, and I'm going to do further research at the Hagley Museum and Library in Wilmington, who has one of the best phenomenal historic archives of equipment companies, machinery, and everything else. You'll notice it says Lobdell United, Wilmington, Delaware, on the box. So that should give you a hint. Now hold on to your shorts.
Yep, there went my shorts. He started it.
Wow. Now these I had to make. These did not come with the hammer.
Wow.
These are the die sets that you can get with the Kuhn hammer. These are tool steel. They're made just like the big ones. Etc. Ah!
Oh, Nazel.
Ooh, Thank you.
Here goes the Viagra.
You won't need it.
The Nazel 0.05.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, somebody mentioned earlier, we had dinner last night, somebody mentioned that they had thought it might be a Nazel, it might be a Chambersburg, it might be a couple other ones. And I said, maybe. Because I didn't want to give it away. This is what's called a manufacturer's model. This is an absolute, fully functional representation of what the Nazel hammers were, which was originally a German patent that was bought, and the Lobdell company, which was famous for casting steel railroad car wheels and stuff, plus other things. And they have, the catalogs I have lists of all over the country and all over the world where Lobdell equipment was sent. I took this apart and cleaned everything, lubricated everything, and I got to show you. It's just a little lever. It doesn't have the foot lever on, but this little plunger here, you push that in, hits even harder. Then you lift this little lever, it drops down, you can do die changes in it. So this is fully functional as the manufacturer intended their machinery to be. Isn't that amazing? I hope this was worth it to get you guys here, but this is...
What have you forged with it?
Not yet. I just made the dies. Here's all the die sets I made for it. I'm not going to use the original dies to forge with, but I'm going to put a metal, make a metal plate that will fit underneath that will absorb the impact when I work on it. This is going to be very delicate work, but this is the real tool. I've never seen one. Oh yeah, no, I need a heavier base. Yes.
No, I want to take your picture with it.